BWOne here from BWOne. In this video, I want to talk about the Galaxy S7 that we know is going to be coming out really soon. And in this video, I want to give you 7 predictions / rumors for the Galaxy S7. Kind of get the 7s all in there. So I got 7 things I want to talk about with it that I think is going to be coming with it. We know it's going to be announced at NWC at the end of next month in February. So I kind of want to give a sort of a roundup of everything that I think is going to be coming with the S7. And we still have a month to go, so this could all change after you've seen this video before the actual release. So let's first start off here with what number 1 I think it's going to be. Got my notes here, so you see me veering off. It is number 1, the build quality will be similar to the same as the Galaxy S6. So the S6, we know Samsung really had a hit here in terms of the build quality and design of the Samsung Galaxy S6. A lot of people weren't too thrilled with the build quality of Note 5. The S6 pretty much kind of changed that with a more premium build quality, as you can see here. Better design, better look. Overall, just that step up that Samsung really needed to take. I think we're going to see with the S7 very similar sort of curves and designs, probably like the same sort of metal and glass with it. I don't think much in terms of where things are located in terms of ports or buttons are really going to change. Some ports may change, but I think some buttons are pretty much going to kind of be the same. I think we might see some cool little maybe designs inside of the glass here in the back to kind of make it a little bit different. Hopefully they'll put some coating on here to make it less slippery, which is something that it really needs. This definitely in my Note 5 here really helps out, and the S6 was a fingerprint magnet and a slipping magnet all the way, and hopefully those are 2 things they can solve with the S7 and be able to sort of make it a better device in terms of build quality. But I think you're going to see the same sort of style and build quality here with the Galaxy S7. The second thing here is going to be processor. So the processor, we got the Exynos processor on pretty much all Samsung devices last year with the S6 Galaxy phones out and the Note 5 as well too. I think with this, we're going to see with that partnership we recently heard from Samsung and Qualcomm, we're going to see the Snapdragon 820 processor show up here in the Galaxy S7. It will be a Samsung designed one though. So I believe this agreement that they originally had allows them to sort of, Samsung is going to build some of the chips, Snapdragon 820 chips for Qualcomm. And I think with that partnership, that's going to pretty much guarantee that the S7 will carry that. And not only will it carry here in the US, I also believe it's going to carry internationally as well too. I think there'll be one Galaxy S7 processor variant, and it's just going to be a Snapdragon 820 across the board. If it's an S7, it's gonna have that processor inside of it, especially with Qualcomm and Samsung working close together. Hopefully they can really get the software tied up really, really good. Because one of the things I noticed since using an Exynos processor, which so far I've kind of preferred using with Touch Wiz, I've had less bugs, I've had less slowdown. Really haven't had much slowdown at all. It's been a much faster and smoother experience, especially with my Note 5. And using an Exynos processor tied with Touch Wiz, so Samsung can obviously really integrate it well. So I think with this whole partnership, it can really help integrate the software a little bit better. And I think there's going to be some more integration really coming down the road, which I'll talk about a little bit later in these rumors that I think will help really create a great experience on the S7. It will also come with 4 gigabytes of RAM across the board as well too. So, and it'll be octa-core processor obviously. So that's all the things you'll get packed into the S6 in terms of the processor and chipset. The third thing here will be a new camera. So now we have a 16 megapixel camera inside the Galaxy S7 and in the Note 5. Great camera, little camera hump on it. Overall, really, really good stuff coming from this camera. I think with the S7, they're going to increase the sensor size to, I believe, about a 1/2-inch sensor inside of here. If they could put that in here, that'd be really, really good in terms of camera quality and picture quality, because bigger sensor means that it can read more data, it can take in more light, more color, more everything, has more to work with in there to create a better photo for you. So I think that will happen. Now that I believe will drop the megapixel down to 12 megapixels, which the megapixels aren't as big of a deal as the sensor size, which is much more important. But you know, when marketing, it can be a little bit tough in terms of dropping down the megapixels to make things sort of, you know, say, hey, this is better, but the megapixels dropped. We had that issue with HTC, which they had that problem with the M7 and the M8, and then they jumped to 20 megapixels with the M9 and changed things around. I think with this, what they're going to do is they're either going to really try to explain very well why it dropped down to 12 megapixels and explain the bigger sensor, or they're going to be like Apple and sort of brand the camera. For a long time, Apple used to call their, the camera the 8 megapixel eyesight camera, similar to this now, I think 12 megapixel eyesight camera. I think they're going to say some type of, this is the S Vision, this is the Galaxy camera, Galaxy Vision, whatever they are going to make up for the camera. I think they'll do that as sort of a marketing term to make it a little bit easier for the consumer to understand. It is a better camera, even with the megapixels coming down. I also think it will record 4K, possibly at 60 frames per second, which would be pretty cool. Almost no one's going to be able to see that right now unless you have some type of device, a 4K camera or monitor or QHD display on your thing to see it, but I think it will bump it up to that as well too. So I think that's what we're going to see in terms of the camera. I think it really will improve really well there. Now, number 4 in our list here, USB Type-C charging will show up on the Galaxy S7. It's pretty much a guarantee. We have the Nexus 6P that has a USB Type-C port on it. We also have the Microsoft Lumia 950, 950 XL that come with it as well too. You have to believe that this is something that's going to come here, especially for faster charging, which is always a big deal. Now, while there is fast wireless charging coming and those specs are improving, to be able to plug in and charge faster is always going to be something that a lot of people are going to want. USB Type-C is the future, faster data speeds, more things you can do with it, faster charging as well too, obviously. So I think that's where we're going to lead to. We're going to start seeing the first flagship devices really come with USB Type-C, and it will be here in the Galaxy S7. The 5th thing here, there's going to be 3 types of batteries. Keyword there when I said 3, I'll explain that in pretty much our next point here. I think in terms of battery, one of the things that the S6 kind of had a problem with is that it didn't have good battery life. It had a bit of a smaller battery than the S5, and it would run out a lot quicker. Even though you had the fast charging, it run up and it would heat up quite a bit as well too. It was one of those things that was like, I like my S6, but wish the battery life was just a little bit better. Battery life wasn't as good as it had been in previous Samsung devices. What I think they're going to do here is, while the S6 Active, that AT&T variant, had a 3,500 milliamp hour battery, and they sacrificed sort of size for that. I don't think they'll go that far, but I think what we're going to get is a 2,800 milliamp hour battery, a 2,850 milliamp hour battery, and a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. The reason I say those 3 is going to lead into my next point, which is number 6 here, is that I believe we're going to see 3 different Galaxy S7 devices. We're going to see the S7, which will be the sequel to this, an S7 Edge, and then an S7 Edge Plus. So I think we're going to see all 3 debut, and each one's going to have the bigger battery size. Obviously, with the Edge screen, they're going to get a little bit bigger battery. They did that last year for the S6 and S6 Edge. And obviously, with probably the bigger screen that's going to be on the Galaxy S7 Edge Plus, we'll probably see bigger battery inside of that. So I think the S7 rather, is going to have itself about a 5.1 inch display, pretty similar to what we've seen here. QHD, improved pixel density, improved resolution, and so on. I do think the S7 Edge will have the sort of the same, similar 5.1, but with the curved display on it, like you saw on the S6 Edge, and that's going to have the 2850 milliamp hour battery. And I think the S7 Edge Plus, a lot of names here, S7 Edge Plus is going to have a 3,000 milliamp hour battery with a 5.7 inch QHD display. Maybe that one gets to the 4K point, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we'll see QHD with just improved PPI and improved resolution. Just screen will just look a lot better than previous screens will look. You know how they kind of roll with that. So, like I said, we're going to get 3 devices. The 7th and final sort of rumor I'm going to talk about with here and prediction is going to be that it's going to come with Android 6.6.0.1 with Touch Wiz on top of it, and it's going to be with a lot of Google influence. So I know Samsung reached out to Google, or Google reached out to Samsung, one or the other, to help pretty much kind of code Touch Wiz and pare it down a little bit better to work better within Android itself. And we did see that with the we're seeing sort of this meld together as we see with Qualcomm sort of working with Samsung on the processor, and then Google's coming in with the software. This is where we're going to see things sort of merge together a lot better, where I say we're going to get a much more improved software experience than we previously saw on Galaxy as the Galaxy devices running Touch Wiz. Although the last version is a lot better than previous before, but I think that's because of the Exynos processor more than anything else. But be prepared for a much more toned down. I think it maybe still a little colorful, I don't know, but I think more improved version of Touch Wiz from Samsung with Google and support, and then Qualcomm coming up with the processor to kind of help all that tie in together. All right, so that's just 7 things there, 7 predictions, 7 rumors for the Galaxy S7, but I'm gonna give an 8th one here, a bonus one I think that may or may not happen. I'm just gonna throw this out here. I think the 8th thing is going to be that we will see the return of micro SD card support. I think we'll see that come back here, and we're going to get to the point where now it can support up to 2 terabytes, similar to what we've seen with the LG G3 and the LG G4, which both supported that. I mean, obviously those cards are pretty expensive, pretty rare to probably find, but we're going to see the ability to get, 32, 64 gigabyte, 120 gigabyte SD cards going to go inside of these phones. I do think we'll start off with 32 gigabytes in terms of storage and go up probably up to 128, but internal storage is still kind of expensive for these phones, so I see them adding micro SD card storage because a lot of people want that. They like that. It's the way they transfer the content, it's the way they back up while cloud services work. To a degree, a lot of people like still having that card to be able to swap things in and out and change phones in and out as well too. I know it makes it a lot easier for me being a tech reviewer to be able to have that. So that's the bonus thing that I believe that will show up, the 8th thing. So let me know what you guys think. Shoot your predictions down below. Do you think these 7 predictions are on point? Do you think something else is going to show up, something different? What are your predictions? Let me know in the comments below. I really am interested in hearing this out. We have roughly a month or so before we finally see what the Galaxy S7 is, and I really would like to know what you guys think about rumors and so on, and sort of share your opinion. Let's get a good discussion going on. So this is BWOne here from BWOne. Thank you for watching this video. Also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page here. Connect with us on all our social networks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our main website at BWOne.com. The link to those in the description. And always remember to live your tech world in high definition. Thanks for watching.